An old grandma brings a bus driver a bag of peanuts every day. First, the bus driver enjoyed the peanuts, but after a week of eating them, he asked, "Please, Granny, don't bring me peanuts anymore. Have them yourself." The granny answers, "You know, I don't have teeth anymore. I just prefer to suck the chocolate around them." Two donkeys are standing at a roadside. One asks the other, "So, shall we cross?" The other shakes his head. "No way, look at what happened to the zebra. There will be no Christmas anymore. I told Santa that you have been good the whole year." He died of laughter.
My German girlfriend likes to rate our sex between 1 to 10. Last night we tried anal, she kept shouting 9. That's the best I've done so far. A man gets on a bus and ends up sitting next to a very attractive nun. Enamored with her, he asks if he can have sex with her. Naturally, she says no, and gets off the bus. The man goes to the bus driver and asks him if he knows of a way for him to have sex with the nun. "Well," says the bus driver, "every night at 8 o'clock, she goes to the cemetery to pray. If you dress up as God, I'm sure you could convince her to have sex with you." The man decides to try it, and dresses up in his best God costume. At 8, he sees the nun and appears before her. "Oh, God," she exclaims, "take me with you." The man tells the nun that she must first have sex with him to prove her loyalty. The nun says yes, but tells him she prefers anal sex. Before you know it, they are getting down to it, having nasty, grunty, loud sex. After it's over, the man pulls off his God disguise. "Hot, hot." "In the man from the bus." "Hot, hot," says the nun, removing her costume. In the bus driver. A son walks up to his dad and says, "Dad, I just had sex for the first time." The dad goes, "Great. Wanna sit down and talk about it?" The son says, "I can't sit right now. My butt is very sore."
One day Nathan came in 10 minutes late to Mr. Jones's class. Mr. Jones asked him, "Nathan, what do you have to say for yourself?" Nathan says, "Please sir, I was on top of Cherry Hill." Then Dave came in a further 10 minutes late to Mr. Jones's class. Mr. Jones asked him, "Dave, what do you have to say for yourself?" Dave says, "Please sir, I was on top of Cherry Hill." Then Mike came in a further 10 minutes late to Mr. Jones's class. Mr. Jones asked him, "Mike, what do you have to say for yourself?" Mike says, "Please sir, I was on top of Cherry Hill." Then 5 minutes later a new girl walked into Mr. Jones's lesson. Mr. Jones is at the end of his tether now and says, "Who are you and why are you late?" The new girl says, "Sir, I'm called Cherry Hill. Two homeless alcoholics want to get drunk but don't have enough money for even the cheapest drinks in any bar. So one of them devises a clever plan. He tells his friend we should buy a hot dog sausage with the last of our money and stick it down my pants, then bring a load of drinks, but then when the bill comes you get down and suck on the hot dog and it'll look like you're sucking on my dick, so then we'll get thrown out without paying and we can just go to another bar and do the same thing again." His friend agrees, so they buy the hot dog, stick it down the first dude's pants, go to the bar, and then the second dude begins to suck on the hot dog as agreed. They are thrown out and hit another 4 bars this way. In the end, as they lie drunk on the floor in some alleyway, the second guy says, "Well, what a great night. Free beers in 5 different bars." The first guy says, "Yeah, especially since the hot dog fell out before we even reached the first bar." A woman comes to the doctor and tells her doctor, "My husband wants intense sex all day. What should I give him?" The doctor says, "My number. Son, I found a condom in your room." "Gee, thanks, Grandpa." "Why are you calling me Grandpa?" "Because I couldn't find it yesterday." Little Johnny is walking around and peeks in his parents' room, catching them having sex, so he asks, "What are you guys doing?" And they reply, "Nothing, nothing. We're just making cake," and they send him away. So he continues walking around and he hears some strange noises coming from his brother's room, so he walks in and catches his brother and his brother's girlfriend having sex and then asks him, "What are you guys doing?" And his brother yells, "Get out. We're making cake." So Johnny leaves and goes to his room. The next day the whole family is at the dinner table and little Johnny turns to his sister and says, "So, you and your boyfriend were making cake last night, huh?" And she replies, How do you know? And Johnny replies, because I licked the icing off the couch. The guy is bankrupt, so he gives his son a duck and tells him to go sell it for as much as he can. So the kid goes on the street to sell the duck. A prostitute walks by and says, I'll FCK you for $10. The boy says, I would, but I don't have any money. She says, okay, I'll take the duck instead. He says, okay, so they go upstairs and FCK. The prostitute says, that's the best sex I've ever had. I'll give you the duck back and we can do it again. So they do, and he gets the duck back. But when they go downstairs, the duck gets hit by a car. And the guy that hit the duck feels so bad that he gives the kid $25. So when he gets home, his father asks him why he looks so tired. The boy says, well, I got a FCK for a duck for a FCK, and $25 for a FCK. Up fuck. Me and my girlfriend were planning on having sex, but I said me and my little brother share a bunk bed and he's on the bottom. She said, tell him we're making sandwiches, so we came up with a plan. Tomato means harder and cheese means faster. So we were having sex and she was screaming, tomato, 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 cheese, cheese, cheese. Then my little brother said, can you stop making sandwiches? You're getting mayonnaise all over my bed. A man is walking on a bridge and sees a lady over the railing. Man. A suicidal act. Are you gonna jump? Lady. Yep, I hate this world. Man. Well, if you're gonna die, can we have sex before you jump? Lady. Hell no. You creep. Man. Okay, fine. I guess I'll just wait until your corpse washes onto the shore. Little Johnny walks in on his parents having sex. He asks what they're doing and the father says, well, we're making you a brother. So little Johnny runs off to let his parents finish, happy that he's going to have a brother soon. The next day when little Johnny's father comes, Johnny is crying out on the driveway. The father sits down next to Johnny and asks what's wrong. Johnny cries, I won't have a baby brother. His father is confused. What do you mean? He asks. Because the mailman came by today and ate him. A man and a woman get married. The woman was a retired hooker. The man was a poet. The man said as they did 69, you taste better than my most delicious gourmet meal. The woman said, well, you aren't too bad either. But the best 69 I've gotten and given was Harry. He did it for 24 hours non-stop. They got divorced that night. I asked my new girlfriend how many men she'd had before me. She said not to worry, she could count them all on one hand. Unfortunately, this was when I noticed she's holding her cell phone with a calculator app open. I took note of her wallet. Inside a picture of what appeared to be 10 guys. I asked and she said that's my fam as well. I noticed an Alabama driver's license. I asked which one was her dad. She said that she doesn't talk to him anymore because he had sex with the boss's daughter. I casually asked what he did for work. Self-employed. She said that's the last time I use Ancestry. Why are quantum physicists so poor at sex? Because when they find the position, they can't find the momentum, and when they have the momentum, they can't find the position. Father and mother are making love in the bedroom. Mother is on top of father. Suddenly the son enters the bedroom. Everyone is embarrassed, of course. The next morning, the mother takes the little boy aside and says, I'll tell you about what you saw yesterday. You know dad has a big belly and that's why mom sometimes sits on top of that belly to push it flat, says that little boy. But mom, that does not make any difference. Oh no, the mom asks. No, says the little boy. When you go to work, the neighbor comes and she puts herself on her knees for dad and she blows his belly up again. My ex-boyfriend's dick is so small that instead of giving him a hand job I had to give him a thumb and forefinger job. There was this guy asked a girl, how much are your hand jobs? $25K. How much are your blowjobs? $50K. How much do you charge to have sex on the street? Reply, I would if I had a pussy. A guy meets a sex worker in a bar. She says, this is your lucky night. I've got a special dame for you. I'll do absolutely anything you want for 300 as long as you can say it in 3 words. The guy replies, hey, why not? He pulls his wallet out of his pocket and lays 300 on the bar and says slowly, paint my house. Superman was bored and wanted to go out. He called all his super friends, but they were all busy. He even calls Lois, but it's her time of the month. He flies to the liquor store and buys some beer and gets drunk. As he's flying, he sees Wonder Woman naked on top of the roof. He starts thinking, I will fly down and have sex with her so fast burp that she won't know what happened. Hiccup. He flies to her faster than a speed of light. Bang, 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 and flies away with a smile. He passes out and crashed into a wall. Wonder Woman jumps up and screams, what was that? The Invisible Man appears holding his butt and he gets off on Wonder Woman and says, I don't know, but my butt hurts real bad.